Have you ever left a meeting thinking, I had the right idea, I just never got a good chance to say it? This is a common occurrence in professional workplace environments because oftentimes we want to find the perfect moment to contribute. And a lot of that, as I've discussed in other videos before, is a responsibility where we want to contribute something that is fully fleshed out with all the details so that everybody's on the same page and there's no miscommunication. But a lot of times, the full, perfect, 100% thing to say is just not something that will ever occur. Maybe here and there you might come up with the quippy, funny thing to say that is just the right thing to say, but oftentimes, a lot of our contributions come in the form of half thoughts. And so instead of trying to enter into a conversation in the perfect timing type of way, ask yourself this question: what can I contribute in whatever moment or this moment that will move the conversation forward? And a lot of times that can just be a simple observation. It can be something that somebody talked about earlier, a reflection. It doesn't have to be a full fleshed out thought. It can just be something that pushes the conversation in the progressive direction. And so a lot of times, like we've talked about, hesitation is built through continual pressure where the pressure becomes too high stakes and then we fail to communicate what we want to say appropriately and in an effective manner that gets things done. And so a lot of times professionals, they want that perfect timing, but you have to reorient it to timely contributions. Not perfect timing, just timely contributions. And they can just be small little things that just move things in the general direction. So a lot of times people think that confidence comes before contribution, but generally they work in tandem with one another. The more that you contribute, the more confident you become, which then makes your confidence a lot bigger, which prompts you to then contribute even more. And so these small, subtle wins in the form of contributing timeliness in a timely way, just half thoughts or anything like that, just steering the conversation in a good direction, those will begin to build over time. And as we've talked about before, communication a lot of times originates in your thoughts. And so we talked about in the last video how to structure your thoughts, point, reason, example. Now we're learning how to enter into the conversation by depressurizing whatever we think the pressure of the moment is. And so that's just a small little thought or a small little contribution. And you do that enough consistently over time, then you can have bigger contributions. You can have more influence in the office. And then those perfect thoughts begin to fire away. It's a very remarkable thing in terms of just social skills or communication in general, that the more used to it you become, the more you practice it, the better you get. Then you begin to free associate, and then you can talk in a way that captivates attention in a much more facile way than previously, where you were looking for that perfect moment and it never came. Okay, so that 100% perfect moment, don't strive for that. Strive for small little contributions that build to the grander climax, if you will, of the conversation, of the directive, of the deliverable, of the influence you want to enact in the office so that you have a higher status and other people can look to you to make higher level decisions or even just really basic run-of-the-mill mundane kind of decisions. But all of this is a work in practice, and it's a reorientation from perfect timing to timely contribution. So next time you're in a meeting, I'll challenge you, if it's a meeting, a presentation, anything in a professional context, to contribute a little bit sooner than you normally do. And if you never contribute, take a stab at trying to contribute at least once. But if you go a little bit sooner in terms of entering the conversation to contribute, you will find, it might be a little bit uncomfortable, but you will find that it makes all subsequent additions, contributions, that much easier. And then you'll find that you hit your stride, so to speak, by the time the meeting is concluding, and all of those perfect thoughts, which were all these, blocks or parts of a building that were all scattered, they fuse at the end, metaphorically speaking, and then you actually end up saying all that is that you wanted to say to begin with. But that takes practice, that takes time. So next time you're in a meeting, contribute a little bit earlier than normal. I know it's going to feel a little bit uncomfortable, but it will reorient yourself and everybody else in that environment to paying more attention to you, to listening to what you have to say with the purpose of taking action or pinging off of that into some other conversational direction. But overall, it's about moving away from silence into visibility. And so that's the thing that we want to work towards, not perfection. You just want to begin to contribute in such a way where hesitation does not convince you to stay silent. So if you enjoy this kind of content and you want to keep learning more about communication and executive presence in the workplace, or anything professional communication related, please consider subscribing. And thank you. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one.